What's going on, everyone? My name is Jesse, and this is the Auditorium. I react to video game music for the first time as a musician myself. And today is both the return and a debut of Persona 5. I can't seem to escape this game. I thought I was done with it, but I'm not. This is the Phantom X, which is a mobile gacha game. Interesting. We're going to be listening to Show Stealer, followed by Gone with the Storm, both from the channel PSC. Man, shout out PSC channel, man. They just have everything. Requested by Valor. Thank you very much. How am I gonna go about this? So, quick TLDR. I already beat this game, Royal, last month, and the public is getting, drip fed the episodes like on a couple days, weekly basis, and it's nearing completion for you guys, and then I can start like actually talking about it, my experience, because I don't want to ruin it. But it's a good game. I'll just say that. I am aware that there's a couple of spin-offs, right? There's Strikers, which I do intend to play. So, if there's any like spoilers here for Strikers, maybe don't tell me that. I don't know what's canon and what isn't. But if Phantom X is just like its own standalone thing, then I guess you can kind of just explain what's going on, because I don't play mobile games. Anyways, one thing I saw before I clicked play. Music by Ryota Kazuka, the composer of Shin Megami Tensei 5, one of my favorite soundtracks last year. So, and I know he's part of Persona 5, but like 2% of the soundtrack. I think he did like the Crane game and some other like video game that Joker plays, and I think that's it. So, I'm super excited. Anyways, this is Show Stealer, Persona 5, the Phantom X. Woo! Let's go. I'll look up more information about this game a little later, and I'll just enjoy. Oh my god, I didn't even notice. I skimmed right past it. It's Lynn. I just saw Ryota Kazuka. So I see they kept that jazz fusion in there. Whoa. I don't really typically hear her in this vocal register. She's pretty high right now. I almost didn't recognize her. Regular P5, she's singing lower. I don't see any other vocal credit besides Lynn. Oh, this is a whole different side of her. I do wonder if there's any motif carryover from the regular game or any other P5 game. Whoa. Man, she's got some range. It has much more of a live sound, Is that her? He's doing kind of a Lotus Juice cadence. Mobile game. Wow. Okay, so I definitely have some thoughts here because I have quite a bit of hours put into Persona 5. Um, Whoa, this was like kind of odd for a lot of reasons in a good way. But my experience with Lin, my experience with Ryota Kazuka, and then like that sounded kind of like P3 to me. But also the sound and energy of it sounded like it was live. I wonder if this was inspired, like this particular song, if it was inspired by the Persona live shows. You know, like, that's what it felt like. It felt like someone in the art, in musical direction was like, let's take some of that spirit from these shows and just kind of put it here. I don't know how many years passed between base game and Phantom X. Base game was 2017, I think 2016, 2017, one of those, whatever. Songs are probably recorded around 16 or 17, so I'm gonna guess at least. I don't know if this game is current. Actually, I think it might be. Oh, this was uploaded last year. Okay, so a good 8 years or so of difference. Now, I don't know if I would have guessed I was Lynn, which is a good thing. I think that's a very impressive thing that she has that much range. Like the swing of her voice is there, but like she's singing in like a higher register. It's pretty. It's interesting because she does go pretty high in Persona, like wake up, get out there, take over, da, 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 you know that thing. But here she's like, I don't know. It's just different. It's cool. I don't know if that's maybe the reason I was bringing up the base game is because maybe it could just be age, but it's a big difference. I feel like that was more controlled. It's cool though. It's cool. And then also Ryota Kazuka's take on Shoji Meguru's soundtrack that was so iconic. That is like the big like for me. So let me just before I even like talk about the song, let me just kind of paint the picture here. For let's just say 4 years straight, I heard nothing but Persona music all the time. Mostly 5, so it was the one I was most familiar with. And then I said I wasn't going to play the game, and then I played the game, and then just beat it. And before that, actually, it all started from a demo of Shin Megami Tensei 5 Vengeance, which is, I think, still a thing. I think you can just literally play that game for free, and it is the full game. And it's just the whole first area. So after that, you have to buy it, but the save carries over, and I believe Metaphor does that too. So I was like, let me try it. Let me try my first Atlas game. It was my game of the year in 2025, and because of Shin Megami Tensei 5. Once I hit 100,000 subscribers, I'm like, let me surprise everyone out of nowhere and just play Persona 5. I didn't think I was going to play it. I didn't have like some grand plan for that. It was just kind of the moment, because I finished SMT5 and then the 100K happened shortly after, so it was a natural thing. Anyways, a lot of the soundtrack from SMT5 Vengeance mostly is Ryota Kazuka, who has a really strange. Well, okay. Well, at first, this because it shows you how much how talented he is. In that soundtrack, it's so defining of a sound that you would think that that's all he could do. Like that's just his thing, to sound like that. If that makes any sense. But now hearing him like this, I was like, hearing this, honestly, just this one song makes me think this is a legendary person that just understands the assignment of what's required, because this is nothing like that, and yet it sounds like what we know as the Shoji Meguro soundtrack of P5, which is considered by many one of the best soundtracks of all time. That's pretty insane. It's I wouldn't even call it like he's filling shoes. He's right up there as far as talent goes in my eyes. That's wild. that's pretty insane to me. That's awesome. The amount of talent that Atlus has. I don't know. It's just something. Anyways, mobile game. So I briefly read what the requester sent me. I didn't like go in depth with it because just in case of spoilers, I kind of skim messages sometimes. And I believe this song is the intro or plays during the beginning. So if I had to guess, this is the equivalent of, you know, Wake Up, Get Out There, or I can't remember the song name right now. And P5, dun dun dun, the royal intro. That's what I'm guessing this is. Something equivalent to that. And then, yeah, again, speaking of Ryota, like, I haven't done the full research because I am planning to do a video with Persona 5 music eventually, I think after I finish Strikers. But from what I skimmed of the credits, I'm pretty sure Ryota Kazuka only did, like, maybe 2 songs in the entire P5 discography. Is that the right word? Album, I guess. And one of them was, like, the crane game, where you go to, what was it? Akibara. You talk to the kid, that little crane game. He made the music for that, and then I think another of the video games, and like that's it. You know, just these little like tiny pieces of music. So I don't know. There's something really cool about that. Anyways, I'm yapping. Yeah, I don't know what's going on here. Like I'm kind of treading carefully. I will say this: if you want to like elaborate on P5 stuff, you can tell me anything about P5 or Royal. Obviously, still put spoilers for anyone else in the comments. Just be curious. Just kind of my thing. But if this is like related to anything like in Strikers or something, maybe don't, because I do plan on playing that. But I am curious like what you do in this game. I know it's a gacha game, so I don't know how like in depth it is. If I had to guess, it's probably the world and the characters, maybe some new characters, and then you're just, you know, doing like clicking buttons and like, you know, there's not really a lot of gameplay going on. That's just my guess. I don't really know mobile games. It's not my forte, but anyways, yeah, it's just I love Persona 5. And it's really cool hearing the evolution of Lynn, this composer, and just the sound that I know, you know. This is Gone with the Storm, and apparently the latest boss. So I guess it is still going. But here's something I don't recognize. Music by Lorne Kui. Never seen that name at all. But also Lynn. This is Gone with the Storm. Sounds like the beginning of the game and now the end. Here we go. Off the rip, I like how it's doing its own thing, and it's not just copying P5 soundtrack. This is already the heaviest guitar riff in all of P5.
Hiding by the frame, peeping at the page, looking for the prey. Who's gonna be the thieves? Thinking what you doubt, running out.
Ooh, this is very reminiscent of a song I really like. What's it called? It's if you're thinking the one I'm thinking, it's that one. Towards the end of Royal. Damn it, what's it called? Sick riff, dude. All open strings.
Maybe you
Oh.
to the cheerful jobs, betrayed by the one who showed you how to live.
It almost feels the exact same as the song. Not in a copying way, but in like a spirit of. Even the piano chords sound identical.
One day, one life is not just my wish. To break the cage and take off and free, sinking in the dust, watching all your flames.
I got it. I got it. That's a great chorus. I love bridge. Okay, hold on. I was gonna say something. Hold on.
'Cause I keep my friends, make me closer to the clouds, spread wings and soar. From now I will not lose in the straight, for the warm embrace take me from the days. This time for my time to lead the way, time to go this way, time to cross the
This is a good song, dude.
time to fly away, drive the storm.
You know, there's this, like, I don't know what to call it, maybe stigma. I don't know what the word is, but there's just something about, like, stuff that comes after the original that feels like a watered down, a diluted version, or you know what I mean, like whatever that term is. It seems to be a thing, right? Like I can. It's just like a human psyche thing. Like if I were to show a good amount of Persona fans this without, or no, if I did tell them, by the way, this is from the mobile gotcha game that came out later, a huge chunk of them would just immediately brush it off just because it came after. Like, oh, it just sounds like whatever. But to me, it's like it doesn't feel that way. It feels like an extension of the original game. It feels like it's part of it. It doesn't feel like it's copying it. It doesn't feel like it's milking it. It feels like it's just there. That sounds like a Persona 5 song. It feels like it belongs. And if you haven't played P5, maybe kind of light spoilers here. It's not really, I'm not going to talk about the story or anything, but it's going to mention like kind of the feel of the end game. So it's no characters or anything, but just kind of tread lightly. Royals, latter half has a very similar song, which I feel like this is almost that same feeling. And that's what I like about that song a lot, is the feeling behind it. Because boss themes typically, I mean, they can go anywhere, but typically in RPGs, bombastic, big, whatever. Persona felt like, like climax to the story. It almost seems like it's the more calm of the soundtrack. The rest of the soundtrack is like down, 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 dancing and doing all this and that. But when it's time for, the real serious stuff and we're wrapping up, all the emotions are coming out and everything. You know what I mean? Like, that's a really cool dynamic change. So if you're thinking what I'm thinking, I think it sounds like a part 2. Now, I don't know if it has to do with it, but to me, it sounds like this song. I'll just play a little tiny bit of it. Throw away your mask. Same with Keep Your Faith, which is the instrumental version, I think. Let me see. Yeah, those two songs. And those are, towards the end. To me, this felt like that, but in a good way. It felt like we get more juice out of that. And that's really cool. I don't know. There's just something about that where I just have to appreciate, because it's like they're not skipping out just because it's a mobile game. I feel at this point, Atlas was well aware that P5 was a big hit. I don't know if they knew that P5 was going to be a big hit. But they definitely knew by now, right? That's probably how this even came to be. and they just kept that consistency there. And there's something to really appreciate about that, you know? I feel like most companies would just not do that. They would find a way around it, or maybe now even these days use like AI to make some bullshit that sounds like it or something. But that just sounds like P5 to me. That's cool. That's really, really, really cool to me. That's what I'm trying to say at the end of all this. It just sounds great. Both of them felt as though they were, you know what this probably feels like? People that played base game P5, and then when they played Royal, I'm assuming most people just kind of accepted that new music. But me hearing Royal so early on, I just thought it was all part of the same thing. I didn't know it was like a later. So if someone started with this and then went back, you know what I mean? It would just sound like Persona 5. Anyways, I'm yapping. That was cool. Those are both really good, and that features the heaviest guitar riff so far in Persona 5. So far. You know, there's not a lot of big chunky metal riffs, so that was really cool to hear. Awesome. I don't think I have any more requests for the Phantom X. I'm pretty sure I don't. But yeah, let me know whatever. As long as it doesn't collide with Strikers, because I do plan on playing that later this year. Hopefully. But in case you were curious about my Persona playthrough, it's here. I upload pretty much like every other day. And the early episodes come out every like Wednesday on that channel as well, the memberships, or my Patreon page. Anyways, a lot of talking, but hey, I resonate with this game. I put a lot of hours into it. I don't even remember how long it. 180, maybe 170. I don't know. I put a lot of hours into it. Good times. Thank you to the requester, and awesome. I'm gonna go listen to Keep Your Faith and Throw Away Your Mask now. Thanks to everyone you see here. I couldn't be here without them. Thanks to the requester again. Thanks for watching. My name is Jesse. Peace.